Welcome to the Vendée Live, Saturday the 12th of December, the 34th day of the race. A beautiful day here in Les Sables-d'Olonne, and I'm with Deputy Race Director Hubert Lemonnier. Thanks for joining me today, Hubert.
Thank you, Ryan.
No problem. Listen, obviously you follow the fleet extremely closely. It's amazing to see everybody so close together at the front of the pack after 12,000 miles of racing, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. That's the first time, actually. We were expecting bigger gap, so it's one of a kind. It's very nice because it keeps the race very alive, and I think everybody's amazed at how extraordinary the race is going on right now.
Yeah. Can you imagine the pressure Charlie Dallin is under at the moment, seeing his lead evaporating minute by minute, basically?
Yeah, it must be tough. He can see everybody's catching up right now, so it's probably busy, focus on the trimming of the sails and focus on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they always say that the Vendée Globe is one problem per skipper per day. You guys are in a bit of a privileged position as you get more frequent tracker updates than the general public does, don't you?
Yeah, actually we have a position every 30 minutes, so for sure for safety purpose it's better, but as well it gets you on the nerves as well more rapidly because you straight away can see if something's wrong happening, so it's a bit stressful as well.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that they all manage to keep up, what with everybody having little problems all the time. In some onboard footage, Boris Herman on Sea Explorer explained to us why he's been a bit slow today.
Hi Boris, how are you?
Hi Ryan. Ryan, it's just done the repair work, so yeah, I'm happy about it.
You haven't had much sleep in the last few hours, huh?
No, but it's bright daylight, and I slept a bit quite well at night actually, and then I got woken up by the very sudden gust, 30-something knots, and before the repair I slept a bit, so I'm not tired. I just need to eat lunch now and clean up the mess here. I have tools everywhere.
Let's see your mess.
Let me try. So, for weather gear, ropes, and a cut-off batten, stuff inside all the tool bags and spare bags. And yeah, from the bow to the stern, there's something everywhere in the boat.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you need. That way everything's accessible easily when it's all out.
Yeah, I will put it back in place now, and I just don't know what sail to put. If I put day 2 out, I will be at 30 knots again. As a J 1.5. I will see. Maybe I try one reef or something.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm sure you're going to find the right combination and be back.
Yeah, it's so hard because now, for example, with 2 reefs in J3, I'm going 24 knots. A second ago, I'm not sure if you can see the display, and now, yeah, it's so up and down. It's crazy. I've never seen conditions like that before. But well, I will find a compromise later on. Find some peace.
Well, that sounds perfect. So tell me about your relationship with the Direction du Course, with the race directors. I have Hubert Lemonnier on the show with me later today, and so I'm asking people what they think of him, basically.
A very sympathetic, good guy, and very nice guy, likable. He has been around for a long time. I remember him from the Barcelona World Race 2010. And when we did the rescue with Jean, he was giving us good information on our rescue WhatsApp group. Other than that, I have no particular exchange with him or with the... I cannot say much more than that.
So the unseen guardian angels, when you need them, they're there, and when you don't need them, you don't think about them.
Exactly, that's a good way to describe them. So it's a very professional team, and they do a really good job.
Excellent. Well, listen, find yourself something to eat, clean up that mess that you've made, and talk to you soon.
Ciao, bye-bye, thank you.
Bye.
So Hubert, do competitors have some obligation to tell you about problems like this when they occur?
Well, they don't have to. It's more of a trust relationship we have with those guys. They don't have to until the point it gets too obvious or too dangerous for their safety, and they have to ask for any search and rescue or any help. Mm-hmm. But there is not mandatory anything about saying the problems on board.
Okay. Listen, I know you probably know the rankings by heart at this point, but I'd like to go through them for our viewers if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. As we said earlier, Charlie Dallin on a PVA is at the head of the fleet, but it's running into lighter wind to the east, hence erratic speeds during the last 24 hours. He's slowly losing miles as the fleet brings up breeze from behind. Thomas Royan in second place is only 70 miles behind a PVA, gaining about 60 miles a day at the moment. He's registering 18 knots versus 10 for our leader. Yannick Besteven on Maitre Koch in third place also continues to impress, only 10 miles from second with a boat from the previous generation. The lead group of 11 boats has compressed another 70 miles overnight with only 500 miles separating the leaders. Contrast this to the last Vendée, as we talked about earlier, with a spread of more than 1,000 miles at this point in the race. In the second third of our rankings, Clarisse Cremer and Roman Attanasio have stopped the bleeding to Armel Tripon in 14th, who's faced with slightly lighter winds than the duo today. Alan Ruhr in 15th, after his break yesterday, has cashed in on much better conditions along the high, having opened a 220-mile gap to his pursuers, and he's currently making 16 knots. The rest of the second group find themselves in 10 to 15 knots of breeze and easy conditions, making straight miles east along the ice limit. With yesterday's retirement of Fabrice Amadeo on new rest, Campagne de France and TSE find themselves with one less competitor in their pack. Third page of the rankings is unfortunately down to 5 boats after these 6 retirements, with DMG Maury in 23rd, going back to Merci and Stark, who round out 26th and 27th places. The whole of the Western group are in good conditions for making miles, VMG running in 20-25 knot northwesterlies. Only Stark has yet to pass the Cape of Good Hope, and he'll reach that milestone later today. Listen, one of my favorite skippers, other than Boris, obviously, in this race is Alan Ruhr. As I said in the rankings, he's managed to gain 200 miles ahead of his closest pursuers at this point. And as we see in the video, he's obviously quite happy about it.
Viré de bord là, dans le truc de la DEP là, dans la petite phase un peu plus molle. Ça a été un des pires revirements de toute ma vie, je pense. J'avais bien préparé mon truc, sauf que... Alors là, je sais pas pourquoi ni comment, ça m'était jamais arrivé. Mais l'écoute de J3 a fait 2 tours autour du radar qui, lui, a une protection pour que rien ne puisse se prendre dedans. Alors là, chapeau. Dans 30 nœuds, c'était génial. J'ai cru voir le radar partir tout seul. C'est un peu dur à tenir avec la mer. C'est un peu dur. C'est très dur. Mais bon. Ah, mon eau est chaude pour le repas. Allez, couper ça. Oh là là, ça sifflote. Oh là là. Oh là là. Oh, ça va être beau. Ce soir, c'est chili con carne, les gars. Ça va être nickel. On a heurté hier soir quelque chose, donc j'ai fait un peu le tour du bateau. Bon, j'ai 2 lisses qui sont fissurées devant, mais rien d'autre, donc ça a l'air d'être plutôt pas mal. Plus de peur que de mal, quoi. J'allais vite, j'étais à 18 nœuds et le bateau a freiné, alors pas brutalement, c'était plutôt calme, plutôt doux. Moi, c'est le feu qui a pris, mais il a rien. Bonne nouvelle. Il est en train de se passer quelque chose ici. Moi je dis ça, je dis rien, mais ça sent un peu la remontada quand même. On a fait une petite option là. On est en train de passer le trop froid maintenant. Jusqu'à là, on est pas mal du tout sur nos copains. Dans 2 heures, on devrait commencer à avoir du vent et après on tartine. Mais on tartine, voilà, on envoie tout ce que le bateau a comme potentiel. Là, on a pris des risques importants quand même sur la DEP, mais ça paye. Et ça tient le coup. Ça tient le coup. Et si ça tient encore, 8 jours on est à Lewin, par contre ça va être 8 jours un peu intenses quoi, avec du 18 nœuds de moyenne pendant 8 jours. Ça me rappellera le record. Donc voilà, faut tenir le coup. Pour le moment on a 4 nœuds de vent. Bon, mais on est prêt. C'est matossé, il n'y a plus qu'à. Maintenant le vent, viens me voir. Viens Coco, je t'attends.
And there we have it, Alan Rohr waiting for the wind to arrive to get him moving. So how strong was the low that he went through?
It was pretty bad actually. It was, as usual, that low pressure going from north to south, and he had to cope with these things just ahead of him. So he made the call. He made the right call actually, not to go straight into it. So he had to turn around, and in the end, it's very positive. What I see on the video is having a fun way of seeing the things, and I think it's the way he has to do. That's how it works well for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So a situation like that, is that cause for intensive monitoring, or are you just watching the tracker in case of some sort of small blip in his course, or what?
No, actually, when something happens like this, we are focusing on him. We're not doing anything. We're just watching carefully every 30 minutes that the bearing and the speed are okay, and making sure he's aware of what's happening. So maybe we can send a little email or just a WhatsApp message sometimes saying that we are focused on him. Just make sure that we are on the same page. He saw the low pressure, we saw it. Because sometimes you're not 200% sure the guys have the clear picture of what's happening.
Gotcha. So it all basically depends on the severity of the weather that they're going through at any given point.
Yeah. It's a mix in between the weather system they are in and the condition of the skipper and the boat. If for any reasons we know they're in bad conditions, something bad happened, we are monitoring a bit more carefully.
Got it. Well, speaking of the weather, let's have a look at today's weather. The weather situation today is characterized by a high pressure system, which pretty much takes care of the vast majority of the fleet. In fact, in the high pressure, you have light winds in the middle, with the wind getting stronger towards the outside, and then diminishing again after a certain distance, especially when the high pressure comes in contact with other weather phenomena, low pressure, ridge, or whatever. Here's one of the last of the lows for the moment that the last third of the fleet is actually still engulfed in. You can see that everyone is sort of in a good position, not too close to the center, not too far outside, especially given the ice limits. And basically everyone making good time today down the course. Looking at the front of our fleet, on this animation, we can see that as we move forward through time, the fleet stays compressed for the moment. It's a race to the corner of the ice exclusion zone, with all the boats very similar. The leading boats, on the other hand, will be able to take advantage of a low which comes across the front of the fleet, which will allow them to hook into much better southwesterly breeze and begin to stretch the elastic in the other direction compared to the last few days. As you can see, a lot of the boats will get caught if they're not quick enough. At the end of the week, Tuesday anyway, this could amount to about 400 miles of distance between the four front runners and the rest of the pack of 11 boats. So looks like pretty easy weather for the fleet at the moment. Does that mean easy days for the race office as well?
Yeah, a little bit, I must say. We know the weather is good. We know they are all in going east in easier conditions. So we are focusing as well, for sure. We are 24/7 monitoring the boats in the race office, but we know that there is nothing huge should happen. So probably some of the boats are fixing the problems. Some others are just focusing on resting. It's a mix in all these between, and at the race office as well, we have so many things to do anyway, so it's never quiet.
And how does the race office function on a typical day? How many people are there, and what fills up their day?
So we are 4 people, so monitoring the race 24/7. As I said, we have different shifts. So we are on watch system. It's 8 hours watch system each. So basically we're doing 6 to 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 2200 at night, and then 2200 to 6 o'clock in the morning. And we have one off, let's say, that is watching from outside. He's still around and available, but he can rest.
Right, just in terms of an emergency, you'd bring them back.
Exactly.
And another thing that you guys do is you actually control the flow of information that goes out to the public about the boats, if they're in difficulty and all this kind of thing, correct?
Yes, the purpose of this is not to keep information for us, but it's more to, the danger is to have information that are not checked. We need to make sure that all the information coming from the boats are verified by the team. They are available for the public. So we are kind of filter that we need to make sure that all informations are checked, are 200% sure, and there is no mistakes being made, because it can be a disaster if you send something to the skipper which is not right, and at some point it can be dangerous as well.
Absolutely. So you guys, when you're following the race and you're looking at the various boats, are you looking simply at their weather situation, or do you pay attention to their navigation a bit as well?
No, it's a general thing. We are looking at the way they navigate, at the way they sail, the weather system for sure, and knowing all the different little issues they can have, we as well put this in a balance. And if we see that somebody is sailing the opposite he should do, that's probably something wrong. So.
Right.
Or maybe not, but
absolutely,
we have an eye on everyone the same way.
Got it. Yeah, there was a situation last night which Seb Destremo explained that you guys were very on top of. Let's hear about it.
I'm good. I just had a story last night with some crazy drivers that arrived from behind and wanted to overtake me in the middle of the night. You know, so he was sending his spaceship, black and red, and arrived from behind at full pace and horn and klaxon and press the button to overtake me. But the real story was that we met with Jeremy at the end of the night, 4 a.m. or something like that, and he sailed by and we had a chat on the radio. So it was good to see someone. And especially Jeremy, like Charal, like one of the favorites, to have him nearby after 33 days of racing was a great satisfaction. As when the conditions are hard, as it was for the last week, was like honking, like we were sailing downwind, and well, Jeremy was not at full pace, obviously. We spoke about it this morning, and he was telling me that he was not sailing the boat to his full potential, which you would understand. And for us on Merci, it was a great game to try to keep him behind for as long as possible. It was just a matter of time for him to overtake us, but it was a great game to try to push Merci really hard.
Yeah, Seb, I have to say that looking at the speeds that you're doing, you're pushing your boat plenty hard, and you're doing a very, very good job of going fast. It's very impressive to see your averages in a boat of its age, huh? You're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, we did push the boat the other day quite hard, but it was just for me, just learning the boat, the way she behaves, and she's fine, like she's okay, you can.
The only thing you don't want to do is have a flat tire on the side of the road, huh?
That's exactly right. That's right. So that's why I'm trying to manage the pace, and keep, on the safe side, staying on the safe side, but I've learned, a great deal the last few days about the boat and the way I should be sailing her, and so it's good. The boat.
Perfect. Hey, tell me something. I have Hubert Lemonnier, who's one of the race directors, on the live show with me this afternoon. Tell me what your impression of the race direction is, please.
Oh, they're doing an absolute shit job, these guys, especially if Hubert Lemonnier is next to you. No, seriously. First, they're good friends, and Hubert, especially Hubert, is a very good friend of mine, and I have huge respect for what these guys are doing. I mean, it's an amazing undertaking to keep 33 boats in the safety zone and safety world, even if we're not in a safe world. It's just amazing what they're doing. And you know, last night I received an SMS from the race direction saying, look, I'm sure you know that Charard is in your water. Just wanted to make sure that everything is fine. Just a kind reminder that, you know, that these guys, they are here, they're watching us, and they are our angels, you know, and they just, even if you're last, even if you're first, you know that these guys are going to look after yourself, look after every one of us, and that's very, very comforting, basically.
Well, there you have it. That's what Seb Destromos thinks of you guys.
How much did you pay him?
Yeah, I'm going to buy him a beer when he comes back, when he finishes. We have a couple of social media questions from the internet. Our first social media question today is how many sails are allowed and how many spare sails do they take?
Okay. So they are allowed 8 sails, and there are no real spare sails in addition to those sails. So basically, when they tear a sail into pieces or they break something, they need to fix it and repair it. They have all the kit on board, and so you need to be as well good at it.
Sweet. Okay, and second social media question: what is required to enter the race? This is a big question, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's this race is an Everest race, so as well the selection, the qualification is very hard and long. But you need to have first of all an IMOCA boat, which is already a challenge because those boats are big. There are not so many neither, and you need to match with the IMOCA rules. So that's the first rule. Then you need to sell these boats, and you need to qualify the boat and yourself. So there's a championship. You need to enter the races and sell as much as you can, and finish the race as well. Mm-hmm. And after this, if you're compiling all the rules, then you can enter the main draw of the race. And then it doesn't mean you're into the race, because if we have 50 boats, 50 entries, for example, and we only have 33 spots, then we need to make a selection. And this selection will be made on the number of nautical miles you will have been sailing.
For the past years, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So it's quite a challenge just to even get to the start line, notwithstanding even having the money to do it.
Exactly.
Well, there we have it. Listen, thanks very much for your time today, Hubert. It's been great talking to you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget you can find updates on all the social media platforms, and we'll see you this evening at 6:30 for The Flash.